Good day, folks. It's Oris Wesdeski coming at you live here with Heidi Lupke, who's a Tantra and Intimacy Embodiment Coach. She's the co-creator of the Canadian Tantra Festival, the Tantric Speed Dating event that happens in different locations throughout Canada, and Eros Work, the method for reclaiming your sexual power. We're here today. We want to discuss a little bit about an upcoming workshop, but really a lot about being able to go and connect more deeply into your core so that you can move from that place in the world and attract to yourself that relationship or that partnership that you're looking for or have been looking for in your life. Yeah. So I know the kind of work that you do, that you're involved with your tantric thing, and I've gone through my own experiences of anchoring more deeply in my core through the work and the help that I've received in Tantra 101 and the series that is after that, the tantric work that I've done on myself. It's interesting to me that, you know what, save a long story short, let's just get into you talking about the idea of this personal magnetism, because it's such it draws me in, right?
It's working.
It's working
awesome.
Already, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is something that I see sort of going left sometimes when we're manifesting, because a lot of you might have read some books on manifesting, and you might have some pretty solid skills. But sometimes there's this little blip in the road where, maybe I've pulled in this ideal partner, I've been doing all the tools, and then that person appears in front of me, and suddenly my whole center just crumbles, and I become like this desperate fisher woman who's like throwing hooks at this person. And suddenly I find myself doing all this fancy footwork. I'm trying to control and manipulate the situation because
Right.
I've decided this is the one. This is my manifestation right here.
Right.
And I know for myself, when I get into that place, nothing good comes of it.
Yeah.
It's like it was going good, and then things just take a hard turn to the left. And so why is that happening? And what we want to share a little bit here is a way that we can maybe keep on that course.
Yeah.
Keep connected to our center.
Yeah. Staying grounded inside of ourselves, as opposed to getting caught up in all this, what would you call it? Like exterior projection that we put on people.
Mm-hmm.
I like have this agenda about all these ideal qualities in somebody, and it's like they show up and all of a sudden, boom, I'm like, oh my God, like here she is. She has all these amazing things. And it's like, how much of that is my projection? And I won't even know that until I'm able to align myself and come back into my core.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever done this, if you're listening, but you've kind of found that person, and it's like, yeah, I think I could push them into that box of all my expectations of everything that I'm wanting.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's like, oh, that arm doesn't really fit in, but let's just like push that a little bit more, and maybe we can get that into that box too.
Yes.
So this is what I call manifesting with hooks.
Oh, okay.
So the other way that we can do that is to manifest with magnets. And what do we know about hooks? Hooks are very directive. They almost have blinders. They find one thing and they go for it. So we're limited when we're fishing or manifesting with hooks.
Yes.
If we want to manifest with magnets, then we first connect to what I call our delicious core. So connecting to the delicious core at first might not feel so delicious. As you go inside and start spending more time with yourself and more time meditating, there may be things that are not so delicious, things that are more prickly that come up. And there's ways that we can do that help accelerate the process. We delve a lot into that in the Tantra 101 workshop coming up on June 8th. But I really want you to sort of imagine what that would be like, because I guarantee if you're watching this video, you have a delicious core. It is there. And so to manifest with magnetism, with magnets, what you want to do is find that core, find that place inside you that feels so delicious. And then you want to start rolling around in that place, like you're rolling in piles of money, just enjoying it so fully. And once you're there, then you start transmitting that energy out into the world. And this is where you become like a magnet, because do magnets go for a particular object? are magnets like really goal oriented
No,
in what
no,
they're
not
going
at
for?
all, right?
No, magnets are a little bit more broad in what they attract to, right?
I like the idea that you're talking here in terms of a magnet as well, because to me, the image that comes to mind is I'm operating anchored and aligned in this force field that's powerfully drawing something in, like really connecting, as opposed to like I'm fishing and throwing a little hook out there and, coming from this place of like disempowerment almost, right?
Yeah, and it's a lot of work.
And scattered energy, and it
Yeah.
is a lot of work.
Yes.
Yeah, because this is when you're that magnetic force field of energy aligned and centered, there's an element of like effortlessness involved in all this. All you really got to do is stay grounded and stay connected to that delicious, what you call it, a
Delicious core.
delicious core that we all
Yeah.
have. And that's really a beautiful way of putting that, because that is one of the things. You know what was interesting, if I can share for a moment?
Yeah.
When I took the Tantra 101 course, I and the other follow-up workshops,
The Exploring Tantra.
yeah,
Yeah.
I really felt like, wow, like I'm out there, like I'm really ready to meet somebody. And I kept saying this in my mind, I'm open, and I'm, and yet at the same time, like I didn't have one date. Like there was nothing happening, right? So it was like this thing in my mind where I was so occupied with all these other different things, but I had a thought that was like, oh yeah, I'm out there, like I'm open to meeting someone. And then I took the workshop and I was like, holy smokes, like I'm not open at all. All I have is this thought in my mind about it, right?
That's a great realization.
Yeah, for sure.
To think I'm open is a little bit different than being connected all the way to that delicious core. And the way that you know is that it feels delicious.
That's right.
So if you're just thinking I'm open, but you might still be feeling a little uncomfortable in your own skin, a little bit like I need to look outside because what's happening here isn't feeling that great. Then you're not yet manifesting with magnets at that point.
Right.
And just a quick little story. I experienced this so deeply last time I was in India. I was in a place that was very touristy. So there's beautiful people walking around everywhere. Everyone's doing yoga and eating healthy food and partying, and all these things are happening together. And I noticed as I was traveling alone that at times I wanted to connect with other people. And so I noticed the difference between me kind of almost targeting someone, thinking, that's an interesting looking person. How can I talk to them? And I would get into my little manipulation mind, like maybe I should go sit beside them in the restaurant, or maybe they'll be in this workshop. And I found that pulled me right out of my delicious core. And when I did meet those people, it didn't go anywhere that served my soul or theirs. And so instead, I focused on coming back to that delicious core. And it's a very magnetic process. That's why we keep saying magnetism, because there's no doing really. It's just a laying back and enjoying, like you're basking in the sun until that sun permeates every single cell in your body. And then you just beam that out. And what that did was it changed everything.
Yes.
And I found that I was walking through the streets, walking through the town in a completely different way. I wasn't even really noticing the people around me. I wasn't assessing them. I wasn't checking the boxes to see, does that one match what I'm looking for, the kind of person I want to talk to? It's a lot of work. Instead, I was just kind of felt like this fish, actually, just swimming through the ocean. Swimming, flowing. And I was transmitting from my delicious core the whole time. And then what happened? Well, suddenly this person would just appear in front of me and ask a question. And I would end up having this deeply resonant experience. Or I was walking on the beach and suddenly in front of me appeared someone that I knew years ago from a completely different country who I was really happy to see again. And all of these things, they just come, there's no efforting. And as long as you're connected to that delicious core, that's the way that manifestation works. And the other thing about these manifestations,
supercharged manifestation.
Supercharged
because
manifestation.
you're aligned and you're intentional and you're flowing. And when I get in that space like that, even right now, it's like heart filled with gratitude, right?
Yeah.
and I'm just affirming something. It's like when I just know something and affirm to myself, okay, well, I desire to have somebody in my life like that, and I know that the universe is going to deliver, so to speak. I can just go about doing my business and just effortlessly flow and be open and be in love and be grateful. Because it's like just a matter of timing. Like even in your experience, you got back anchored into your depth, into that delicious core, and you just trusted. Yeah.
And the bonus to all that is, in the meantime, being in that delicious core feels freaking amazing.
Yeah, it does. So, as opposed to monkey mind all over the place, scattered like,
oh.
So, that's hilarious. This is bang on, right? And some of the things that we learned in the workshop in terms of how to really get grounded in inside of my core and aligned within those three minds and those three different intelligences, so that I can be grounded and anchored inside. And tools to be able to open myself up and to have mindfulness and awareness and the balance, like the balanced nuances of Tantra, and really for me as a guy, like understanding women in a way different way, right? Like, yeah, the work that I did in this, I can't say enough. Of course, I'm a fan of the work, and Heidi and I have been friends for a few years, but it's really helped shift the way I show up in the world and the way that I've shown up in relationship. Like unbelievable, right? So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're so welcome.
Yeah.
It's one of the tools definitely that takes you a long way. And of course, the polarity work is another big piece in relationships. Once you do have that partner in front of you, how do you keep that chemistry alive? And actually, maybe we should say a little bit about all the events that are coming up.
Yeah, we're going to get ready to wrap up here right away. But yeah, the idea of, so of course, June 8th, Tantra 101 for individuals, where you can explore all of the things that we've been discussing, but really to get into that place of understanding that, that delicious core. It's almost like, you become able to know how to allow yourself to just be that attractive, like piece of chocolate kind of, or something, right? That sort of tantalizing piece of chocolate that somebody really desires, right?
Yeah.
You can learn how to turn that on so that you magnetize and have that energy and that frequency that you're emitting to be able to draw those people in.
And that chocolate is attractive not just to others, but to you.
Yes, indeed.
And that's kind of when you're in that delicious core, is when you feel delicious to you, then you're going to feel delicious to everyone else as well.
And those are supercharged manifestations as well. Yes. So anyways, sorry, go ahead. June 8th, the individual
June 8th
Tantra.
is Tantra 101. If you are looking to meet someone, June 1st is Tantric speed dating. So this is actually not just about dating. I mean, sure, there's been people that have met there that have been in long-term relationships. And there's also people that come and they say, wow, like I actually touched my delicious core in that event. I get a chance to meet people, conscious people who are on the same page. But the way it's designed, you're also looking at deeply inside yourself, like how am I attracted to people? How do I determine my own compatibility? And there's layers down there that sometimes get missed with our superficial checking of boxes. So Tantric speed dating is an amazing dating event, but it's also a chance to touch that piece of yourself.
And I met somebody really good at the Tantric speed dating event as well.
Yeah, you did experience that.
I did, yeah.
So that's a super fun, heartwarming event on the 1st. And this is something that's not just in Edmonton, this is spreading all over the world. So if you haven't tried this, I hope that if you're single or in a polyamorous relationship, that you'll come check it out. It's pretty cool.
And you also have the couples date nights going on?
Yeah. There's something for everyone. So you can check out the website, shamayatantra.com, if you're curious what fits for you. And on, July 19th? That's Exploring Tantra. So there's a 3-level program. If you really want to really dive into Tantra, you can come to the 3-level program, which is a weekly series that starts on July 19th. But keep in mind, Tantra 101 is a prerequisite. So you really need to get that foundation. You need to get that initial connection to your delicious core. And then we start to play with that and find ways to bring that into everyday life.
Yes.
In the Exploring Tantra.
Nice.
We don't want to miss couples. So thanks for bringing up couples.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you are in a couple and you're looking to kind of supercharge your connection and find deeper intimacy, there's a special couples program, which is beautiful, 4 tantric dates. And each date you get to see a different side of your partner. You get to see the playful side of your partner, see the different archetypes of your partner. And we do a beautiful tantric ritual in the final date. So that kicks off on June 4th.
Nice.
Yeah.
And also don't forget to mention the fact that some of the really beautiful results that you've talked about a little bit in the past in terms of your intimacy and embodiment coaching, the tantric intimacy and embodiment coaching, like the stuff that's going on with individuals, just in terms of sort of them unlocking their, their sexual power and being able to integrate those shadow pieces around their sexuality and powerful stuff, right? Not just for individuals and for couples to be able to really get aligned in a deep way with one another.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to stop and say hi to Isa. I love you. Thanks for being here. And this sexual shadow stuff is powerful. And often the thing that's plaguing you the most in your sexuality is actually a key to unlock some greater power. And so we find that we kind of go to that ball of yarn, and whatever is in the way right now, whatever's causing a problem in your life is the end of that ball of yarn. And we start to unravel that and eventually come to a place of like, whoa, this is a whole side of my sexuality that I didn't even know existed, that actually has a lot of healing potential for me.
Yeah.
So that's been transformative in my own life and in the life of my clients. And there's also right now, one thing that we're struggling with as a society, I guess, is our bodies are a bit separated from our minds. And so we're kind of existing on like one cylinder. We're from the mind, which is a beautiful, powerful tool. But what if we could also access the intelligence of our body, and those two could talk ongoing every single day? So that's kind of the result of the coaching program.
Yeah. This brings to mind the idea, even in the Eros work that I did, exploring some of the sexual shadow, I was able to uncover a piece of shame around my sexuality that had been there since the time that I was like an early teen, and move beyond that. Like, how liberating, man. Yeah.
And did you find there was something on the other side of that shame?
The thing that was on the other side of that shame was just a deeper acceptance of like my own beauty and my sensuality, which might sound a little bit funny as a man to say, but it is about my own delicious core, right? Because before that, like, I wasn't at all in this place of going like, you know what, Orst, you are a beautiful sensual being. I didn't own that at all. It was like total disowned part of myself, right? And so after that, being able to step into that, and now through other things that I've done and other some of the tantric work, I really have gotten into this place of like your embodiment coaching, of embodying, being this beautiful and sensual sexual being. Like before, I would never have ever said anything like that in my life, right? And now it's like, boom, gotta own it, right?
Gotta own it. That's what you want for good lovemaking. You want to be connected to that beauty and that sensuality.
Okay, well, thank you so much for those of you out there listening and that will view the video and watch. I know that we sort of went a little over time that we initially planned for, but we got engaged into the sexual discussion and our own sort of core, and I feel open and good in my heart, more than I did even when we started. So even through the course of this interview, hopefully that transmits out to people and you can kind of catch a hold of that, right? So just, beautiful, delicious, core-oriented workshops and events coming up here in Edmonton in the near future. So stay tuned, and again, visit Shamaya Tantra. Contact Heidi through Facebook. She's through Shamaya Tantra or through her personal Facebook page for questions or
For sure.
to book in or to register for an event. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, and stay connected to that delicious core.
Indeed. Stay sacred out there, my
Yeah.
friends.
Thanks, Oris.
Thanks, Heidi.